Greetings, Clobby'S. Welcome to another edition of Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinning Rack Time Machine, April 1972, week 1. Yes, here we go. Thank you so much for being here, folks. If you're new, stumbling across this channel and this video, please like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, if you are new to these videos, there's a link in my description below for all of my Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machines. What I do is I take my Spinner Rack Time Machine, I go back 50 years to the week, and we pretend that you're at your local comic shop and you have a pull list. In this case, me pulling them. Of course, I make my choices anywhere from 8 to 10 or so, give or take, choices of the comics that came out that week. And as according to my taste, then as a very young person, and today as a very old person, but kind of combine the two, the things that I would choose. And of course, the following day, there'd be a quick bits video follow up that's a little bit shorter that just shows you if you're the ones that did not quite make the cut. I didn't pick them up, but I want to show them a little bit of love and respect too. So we'll get on with April now. First I should show you that, basically just to drive the point home, and this is a wonderful website if you like to do comic book research, Mike's Amazing World. I highly recommend them. And as you can see, you can find whatever comics came out that specific week, that specific month. It's very useful for that. It's excellent. And it's how I, go every week, and we do these every week. And so let's take a look at week 1 from Clobby'S pull list, the comics I chose. I could not help but choose this one. This is wacky. If you've seen these videos, my taste leans to the superhero stuff or the genre stuff, action, adventure, different things like that. And it reflects that. That's why I do the other videos. So I show some of the things that I wouldn't have bought, but you might have if you were into other comics at the time in that big, bustling, diverse comic book industry. I went with a wacky one, folks. Oh, well, let's just show it. Dracula Number 6 from Dell. A whole whopping 15 cents. Okay. The story behind this is, and I usually, when I do this, folks, by the way, I just talk a little bit about not the story, not the interior story, just I show you a little bit I say a little something about each book, and of course show you who the creators were, the writers and artists, all that stuff, creative team. Stories by DJ Arneson, Arneson, I think it is, Bill Fracchio, and Tony Tallarico, and they also did the cover. So a lot of tongue twisters there. I apologize. I'm recording this late at night and I'm loopy. Been working on this video all day. Sorry. But the funny thing about this one is, yes, this is April of 72, but this is a reprint of issue number 2. What Dell back around 1962 or something, to put up Dracula Number 1. This was numbered at number 1. They didn't usually put numberings on it. And of course, as you can see, it's just a comic book about the classic version of Dracula. And then issue number 2 comes along, which this, of course, is a reprint of Dracula 6. Here is a reprint of Dracula Number 2 from Dell that followed that issue. And they just totally scrapped the classic Dracula and turned him into some kind of crazy superhero. Yes, long before Morbius became the living vampire and sort of an anti-hero, having superhero adventures and stuff, Dell had who knows, this Morbius could be sort of ripped from him, had the origin of the new Dracula, the secret of Dracula's strange superpowers. And yes, even though this is a reprint of it, yeah, I just had to. It's so ridiculous. Let's move on, shall we? Next up is, of course, The Phantom Number 50, of course, by Charlton Comics. It was tough to pin down who did only the writing of these. They may have been adapting some Lee Falk stories. I did no. Pat Boyette on the art chores, interior and exterior. I'm still getting Primus. I need to dump this book, right? Sometimes you just drop one from your folder. But, how can you resist those nifty photo covers with old Robert Brown Lazarus himself? I don't know. I should be able to resist them. Stories, of course, by Joe Gill, and the art on the interior, Joe Staten, a name known to comics fans. Daredevil number 89 story. Jerry Conway art, Gene Colan and Tom Palmer, a classic Daredevil team. Cover. I'll be assuming good old Sal getting some cover work this last month and this month. John reporting on the inks. And yes, he's saying, wait a minute. That's one thing I got to fight Purple Man. Why I got to fight one of Spidey's villains? Hey. Electro, get it. Go back to your own book. I mean, I know Spidey's book, but I don't want you in mine. I got enough trouble with Kilgrave, the Purple Man. But what are you going to do? So I don't know why Electro is messing with Daredevil there. Hey, he's cheating on Spider-Man. How dare him? King alert, Jack Kirby, King of Comics alert, Forever People. Number 9. The Fourth World Saga continues to unfold by the great King of Comics himself. Story and art, naturally, Jack Kirby, with inks by Mr. Mike Royer. Adventure Comics 74 would be the reprint story back up there with, and is, of course, a Simon and Kirby. I believe it's an old Sandman story or something like that. Or is it a Stuntman story? I can't remember now. I should have looked. Oh, there it is. Deadman's in this one, though. Wow. I don't know if I have this issue anymore. I hope I do. Yeah. Yes, it is an old Sandman type comic. You think I would be more observant. Always, this is dedicated to our great buddy D. Bard Martin. If you're watching, buddy, shout out to you. Thank you. And if you're not, you'll see it eventually, I hope. And I always tell you are the man of iron, the invincible Iron Man number 48. Story, Mike Friedrich. Art, George Tuska and Vince Coletta. No comment. I'm going without commentary on that team. I mean, at least the inker for sure. Cover by the great Gil Kane. Not even Vince Coletta can ruin a Kane cover. Okay, I'm sorry to be mean. Kid Colt Outlaw 160. Story art 1 through 3. Reprints from Kid Colt Outlaw, the older series. I mean, the earlier series, I should say. 55 through 60. Various reprints there. Joe Gill, Jack Keller on the story and art chores. Story 4 is a reprint as well. Story 4 is a reprint from Western Outlaws and Sheriffs number 62. No writing credits available. Dayberg on the art. And then, of course, as always with these sports, a nifty and a cool-ass John Severin cover. Marvel Team Up number 3. Wow, early in the days of Marvel Team Up. And coincidentally, the Morbius movie opened this past week, and we're seeing them all over the place, and it's just a coinky dink. In this case, I guess. Story, Jerry Conway art, Ross Andrew and Frank Giacoia. I always struggle with that name, sorry. And I've had it pronounced to me many times, and it just doesn't take in my stupid skull. Cover, the great Gil Kane, and again, Vince Coletta not hurting him. So, still a great cover even with Coletta there. The Mighty Marvel Western, featuring the Rawhide Kid, Kid Colt, and Two Gun Kid. A lot of kids there. The kids, and they're all none of them are kids. Reprints, Rawhide Kids 11, Kid Colt, Outlaw 44, and Two Gun Kid 50. Stories, various stories, of course, by Joe Gill and Stan Lee, and various works of art by Dick Ayers, Jack Keller, and John Severin. All a bunch of reprints, but if you like the old westerns from the old Atlas days of the 50s, there you go. And it sports a great Gil Kane cover. So let's see here. Next up, Our Army at War, featuring Sergeant Rock. It is got some new stuff in there. Story and art number 1, Robert Kenninger, Russ Heath, the great Russ Heath. Some Sam Glanzman work in there as well. Some reprints, or a reprint from All American number 63. Robert Kanigher and the great Joe Kubert. And the fourth story also is a reprint. And it looks like I forgot to list the reprint. I just went by them so fast. So I don't have the information. I usually like to have my information. So I am sorry. Harry Harrison and Jerry Grandetti on the art nonetheless. And cover again by, of course, the extraordinary Joe Kubert. And finally, for the evening, we have a spectacular here. I love me some wraparound covers. It is a Superman number 50, one of the big DC 100-page super spectaculars. But sometimes they would print multiple issues in a month of Superman and other titles and use one to just, put a bunch of, they make a little bit of extra. It's all of 50 cents. And so double the price, but you get double the fun. You get a lot of pages. In this case, and in most of the cases, it, of course, they were reprints, various reprints from Action Comics 47, Superman number 17, More Fun Comics number 57, Flash Comics number 24, Crack Comics number 18, Adventure Comics number 67, Smash Comics number 17, Superman number 146, with various stories featuring the talents of writers such as Jerry Siegel, Gardner Fox, and Alfred Bester, legends all. And art by many fine artists: John Cicala, Murphy Anderson, Sheldon Moldoff, greatness, Howard Sherman, the amazing Lou Fine, Bernard Bailey, it's late, Jack Burnley, Al Plastino, and just a marvelous, or DC's, sorry, that's not Marvel. Bad joke, sorry. A bad funny book geek joke. Covered by Neil Adams. I always like that at the bottom how it says, with the world's greatest flying heroes. Technically, Black Racer's not flying, he's gliding. And let's see here. Shining Knight's riding on, his flying horse. So he's not really flying either, but that's okay. And the Spectre shouldn't even need to fly like that. Oh, well. Anyway, I just love these flying covers, flying colors, and flying covers. So, my friends, thank you for being here for another edition of Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine, April week 1. And the following day, tomorrow, I should say, the Clobby'S Quick Bits video will drop, and covering some of the comics that, again, that just got left behind, got run over by me, got abused by me, and I'm sorry. But as you can see, there were a lot of comics to choose from, and I had to, pick certain ones. And that's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So, please, if you have not been to this channel before, contact me in the comments and tell me what you think of my picks and what you would have picked and what you thought of those, and just like and subscribe. And a big shout out, as always, to my wonderful first officer, Hiram Briggs, for making this nifty intro, outro. And thank you all, my friends, for being here. I hope to see you next time. Clubber on, clubbers.